Hey everybody, and welcome back to Embird. My name is Sue and I am from OML Embroidery, and today we're going to have some fun with lettering. So let's get started. So first thing we need to do is bring in our image, and I just had a silhouette. Silhouettes work the best for this style of design. And you want to start off simple, and we're going to do something a little different in this one. So the idea is that we want to put the lettering inside this shape, but make the lettering the same as the shape, or close enough anyways. And that's what we're going to do. But first, I think this is a little big, so let me go to image, and let's go to edit image window, and let's see how big it is. Nope, that's just about right. I wanted it a little under 2 because I don't want our satin stitches to be too long. So this will be just about perfect. So we'll leave it at that. Now let's add our lettering. So you can add a true type font lettering, but I am going to use the built-in fonts because we are going to be doing quite a few things to it. So I want it to be, nice. So let's do something a little fancier. And we're going to do, it's the alphabet one. I'm just going to pick alphabet 1, and let's do that. Now that's pretty small. So in Embird, all the letters come in separately. So let's select them and let's make them bigger. We want to generally fit them inside. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're gonna make them too small, you're gonna have to do way too much manipulation. So we kind of want that F is what I'm going on to fit right inside. So that's good. Now the next thing that you have to do is select everything, or leave it selected, and we're gonna ungroup it. And that makes a little bit of a mess. It might be easier to do it as we go along. So let's do it this way. So now we can move the letters to their general place of where we want them. And I'm thinking like this, and then the F is going to be right where it is. Now, if you look here, you can see this F is in a lot of parts. So let's go ahead and ungroup this F. And this is a really good trick here. So ungroup the F, and you can see now it's in a lot of parts. While it's still selected, go to transform and go to shaping and go to union. Now if you look, our F is one shape, and this is going to be a whole lot easier to edit. So let's go to our node mode. And let's start now. I want to keep the general style of this font, and it's kind of curly and kind of, angled. So when you're doing your readjustments, and you guys can take, a longer time doing it. I'm just going to try to do it quickly because I'm just, playing around with the nodes, and we don't need too many nodes, too long me playing with the nodes. So I'm just going to give you guys the general idea and the process. And this is actually really, really fun. So my advice would be to only adjust the nodes that you think that will make a difference as to the shape of your lettering. So I think another one we can do is pull this one out without any issue. I think the rest of it can stay the same, but see how that angle matches the fish angle? And this one could probably come down a little bit more. So we can still see that it's an F. We can still see that. Now I tweak that up a little bit. It needs to be a little bit better than that. So this one, now we're going to work on the I, and what I like to do is set it in place first before we get to any detail work. It's so much easier. And yes, I know I'm stretching the letters, but that's okay. It looks good in the end. I'm going to make this one a little bit wider so it doesn't really look quite as stretched. So far, so good. We need to, again, ungroup it. Now, obviously, this circle is, we don't need to put anything together. It's just one piece, but we can see the I is 2 pieces. So let's select one and select the other. Let's go back to our transform and go to shaping union. Now we have one piece, which is exactly what we want, so we can start doing the fun editing. So just kind of around the edges. Now you can leave it this thick, but it's a little bit, you know, not true to the font style. You can make this one here bigger to match. You could do all sorts of things like this. Now, all right, let's do that one. I think the eye looks great. What about this? Well, to me, I thought it kind of looked like a bubble. So we could have the bubble kind of squished in the corner here, kind of like squished up at the top. And I thought that would look pretty cool, but you guys might be able to come up with a better idea for it. I kind of thought that was neat. Let's check it out. Yeah, I kind of like it. Now, those satin stitches might be a little bit too long, and in which case, ooh, so far so good. Now, this is a fill stitch, and that's fine. So we can make this one into a fill stitch as well afterwards. For now, we'll just keep going on what we're going. Let's go back to that. Now, our H is going to fit there. It's going to be just fine there. We're going to stretch that out. The S is pretty easy as well. So that corner matches there, and we're going to pull it down here to about there. And, you know, we don't need to do a whole lot more to the S, but we can make it better. So let's ungroup this one, and let's go to transform. Let's go to union, and now we have one piece, and now we can edit the nodes. So this might take a little bit of fiddly work to get this going on, but I think we can do it just fine. And what about down here? How can we do down here? The least amount of fiddling is probably the best to do. This might work because I can't really bring that down because now we're encroaching here. And one thing I forgot to do, and I just see it, when you use union, you have the old pieces left. So after you do union, make sure that you delete the other pieces. Otherwise, you will be double stitching everything. And if you're not sure, like I didn't select the whole thing because this was still the original eye on it. So just make sure you're selecting the right pieces. So these ones are not. So there, I'm just kind of going through it, and there. So all of these ones except for the dot and delete. So, okay, we did it correctly. Now the dot is probably going to have to change. Okay, so I kind of like the S. I might tweak that a little bit more so it's right smack on the line, but it kind of looks like it's squished in there, and it helps us further define the shape. So let's go to the H, and the H is kind of complicated, but that's okay. So ungroup, and then right away go to our shaping and go to union, and now we have one piece. Yay. Let's go back this time and delete all of our pieces that we don't want, because you'll have a mess and it's harder to do. So I'm going to actually remember to do it this time. So I kind of just went through everything. That's a connector, and we're going to go to right here, and we are going to delete. So now we are just left with our H the way we wanted it. Now the H looks like it is going to fit in nicely if we move a few nodes around. So let's try a few things. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but this is the fun of it. I think maybe this whole part goes down. This whole part here should go down. I didn't like how it looked on the other one. Yes, that's how I want to do it. That's perfect. It fits in nicely like that. Now let's tweak this bottom part so we can also get the nice shape going on. Now I think I'll stretch it down. You can see here the blue, that's the old line. I think I'm going to stick with that line and then bend it up here. Add, right click, and we can insert, and we can bend it right up like that. That is a bit square. So right click to curve. Now we can do it a little bit better. I'm going to move this one down, and you can see our curve node here. That looks much better. Okay, so we got that side, we've got that side. Now we've got to do this one. So this part is fine. It's touching. We could further shape it if you wanted to. Again, you can fiddle around with this and really get some excellent results. And, you know, the more you do, just be careful that you don't do too much and you can't read the letters anymore. I've seen people do it and it looks kind of terrible because you don't know what it is. So I wonder if we should bend this all the way down. Let's try that. Maybe not all the way because I'm looking at it now. Although, you know what? Maybe that might be pretty cool. I'm kind of liking it so far. We got to make sure that it's still an H, however. I kind of like that. How about we generate it and then we'll have a look. Yeah, you know what? That might be okay. That's completely different than what I planned. But yeah, I like it. I like it. It's very fishy. It's very fishy. And what I'd like to do for this one, just to be a little different, is that I want to make a shape around it and try to do it a little bit differently. So I'm just gonna place my nodes. I probably need another one here. And let's do it this way and then here. And I would just like an outline. You can always do like a light fill behind it or something, or a brighter color. You can add fins to it. It doesn't just have to be the lettering. It is cool if it is, though. It is cool. It works out really well. So let's just see with an outline. I just want the outline of the fish, not the outline of the lettering. That's why I'm doing it this way. All right. Okay. There we go. Let's, what can we do with this one? Let's go to the parameters and try stuff out, because I was thinking, maybe that. Well, I don't see why not. How's that for a cool look? I kind of like it. How about the triangles? No, not as much, although it looks kind of like fins all over the place. Now remember, we're kind of small. We're kind of small. So let's try this applique. That might work out just fine. So we can either do, how about sketch? Let's try sketch. That might work just enough to make it worthwhile. So generate the stitches. Let's flip over to our 3D. And now we have a fish design. And I like it. I like the way that turned out. You might want to, if I was going to tweak this, I do like how this turned out, by the way. I would like to fill in the space between the F and the I. Of course, turn this to tatami or make all these satin stitches, whichever way it works. Or you could make it a whole lot bigger and you could put a programmed fill in here and make it look like fish scales. But at this point, if I was going to tweak it, I would make the F a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to kind of ruin all the lines if I do it just like this, but I want to show you exactly what I mean. So fill it in and make this part thicker. This part would go out a little bit more, and this, you know, down to here even, so it fills up the space, and then that'll give us from here to here to fill in the shape and make it look a little bit better. You can also put a little eye in there too. But I think if you did that, I think that would be awesome. So a little bit of trial and error and play around, but at the end, you're gonna have a really cool design. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video to let me know that you want more videos like this. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.